Oh, I don't want to work today. Hi, guys. What a horrible thing to say to you people who have actual jobs. How are you today? Hope you're well. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am Monk, and we're here to do a show. This is my job, and I actually really do enjoy it. That I don't want to do my job is nonsense because I like to hear myself speak, and you guys know that. Hope you're well. I'm a little congested, so please forgive me if there's coughing or any of that kind of crap going on. It's why we weren't here yesterday. Been coughing so much. Damn sinuses. I hate Michigan weather. But otherwise, other than that, I'm well. I've been happy. Um, would have done a show last night, but I finished arguing with an anti-Semite and decided to go play a video game for a little bit and went to go set up the show and realized I did not have enough air in my lungs to breathe, much less talk. It's better. Don't worry, guys. Asthmatic, smoker, cold, not a good connection combination. That's the word I want. But it's better today, and I, wow, what a fucking day. So first off, rest in peace to George Foreman. For those of you who don't know who George Foreman is, he was a boxer, famously fought Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle. Comes back later in life. He lost that fight and it pretty much ended his career, or would have for most people, because he just couldn't deal with the loss. And then he decides to make a comeback in his 40s, becomes the oldest world heavyweight champion in history with the most vicious right hand I've ever seen delivered in the most boring looking way. George just looked a little bored when he threw that punch and knocked that motherfucker out. Michael Moore, oh, such an iconic moment in boxing history. And then, of course, his Foreman grill, and he was such that smile. That smile, it was impossible not to see him and just smile along with him. The George Foreman smile. And me saying it, if you know who he is, you're seeing it in your head right now. He also named all of his children after him. They're all either named George or Georgina, which makes me wonder how, you got called to dinner. I guess just George, it's dinner, and everybody knew it was time. You didn't have to rattle it off. You think their parents ever got their names confused, right? Like, Fred, get in. Oh, shit. No, George, get in here. You know what I mean? That happened to me. There were 3 boys in my family. And most of the time, my mom was calling for my brothers when she was upset with them. She'd yell my name because she was just playing the odds, really. But anyway, RIP to George Foreman. I enjoyed his work in and out of the ring, and yeah, it's a damn shame. He passed apparently peacefully, surrounded by his family. That's all that was released. So yeah, damn shame. Now we're going to talk about why we're here tonight. I just want to be clear on this as we start off. I don't really give a shit about Snow White anymore. And I'm not saying that because of the rest of what we're going to talk about. I think it's all been said, right? And you get to a point where it's like, okay, I get it, but are you going to add anything new to it? If you don't add anything new, why are you talking? Okay, I'm trying to bring up a picture of Snow White so we can have it on the screen while we talk. And none of these pictures want to be big enough that we can see it on the screen. Why didn't I just keep the one up that I had? That would have been smarter. No. Oh, you know what we can do? I know what we can do. Haha. I'm smart and good at my job. We'll bring up the trailer. There we go. Let's pick a place in the trailer. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So the movie's come out, reviews are coming in, and that's fine. I don't mind. I get it. And I'm not really mad at the people who are trying to latch onto this thing and make their mark, because movie reviews, especially if there's some kind of controversy with it, have become really good ways to get attention. But could you guys at least mix it the fuck up? Half of you aren't funny. You're not entertaining at all. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that, but you're not. The other half of you are just repeating the same shit that other people have already said. Mix it up. Bring your own flavor to it. Do something that's other than, hey, I took my script from that guy and I'm repeating it, but I put it in my own words like a 13-year-old with a school project. It's and YouTube is flooding me with these. Every time I go to YouTube, the main page, I have a whole new list of Snow White sucks. I get it. Snow White sucks. I don't disagree with you. Do you have anything else to say? Anything at all? No? Okay. And I broke down. Normally when that happens, and granted, it hasn't happened to this degree since the anti-SJW days, but normally when that happens, if people I normally watch have already covered it, I don't even pay attention. I just scroll because I know in a day or two it'll be gone. But I broke down and I gave in and I watched some of them. They're as bad as the movie. The movie can't be as bad as some of these reviews are. I did go watch the music video for Waiting on a Wish, I believe is the name of the song. So people that I do watch who did a review of this movie, one of the things they said was that the songs were just forgettable. They're just forgettable, which for a Disney production is not a good thing. You need something that's going to keep people coming back and singing it. And it's been a staple of Disney films since the original Snow White to have songs that just get stuck in your head. You know, Whistle While You Work. Hi ho. Even if you didn't know all the words, you'd catch yourself occasionally just hi ho. Okay, maybe that was just me. But I went and listened to Waiting on a Wish. And I went into it with an open mind. Even though these guys said, it's forgettable. They didn't say it was really crappy or anything like that. Or if they did, I wasn't paying enough attention. It's so forgettable. It's so forgettable. But even worse, it is desperately trying to be Let It Go. I mean, the whole thing is about, I want to be the girl boss I could be. Why won't anybody see the girl in me that I'm supposed to be? Why are all Disney princesses singing that kind of song? How come every one of them is like, if only people would get out of my way, I could be the best? I just can't wait to be king. Is Simba going, I'm going to fuck shit up. Every Disney princess is like, the man is keeping me down. Why is that? I don't get it. Maybe that's how all little girls feel. I'm not a girl, so I can't tell. I don't get it. But it certainly seems to be the way. But when it comes to this song, just go listen to it if you haven't. It's called Waiting on a Wish. Rachel Ziegler in Snow White. Tons of ways you can look it up to find it, okay? So you look that up and listen to it and tell me that from the way it starts off all slow and builds to this massive crescendo. Let it go. I mean, Waiting on a Wish. Lyrically, thematically, auditorily, the whole thing. It's like they were like, I know how we can save this film. We'll make Let It Go in Snow White's world. And did you guys know that in the movie, the reason she's called Snow White is because she was born in a snowstorm? She was born in a carriage in a snowstorm. And so they named her Snow White. Somebody on Twitter pointed out, or maybe it was in one of the reviews, she could have just easily been named Rainstorm, Hazy Day. And look, it's our little daughter, Tornado. Fuck. She was called Snow White because her skin is white as snow. That's where it comes from. No, it was snowing that day. Look, it's sunny day. What a different time that would have been. Anyway, I don't really want to talk much about Snow White other than to say, please stop talking about Snow White or make it interesting. I get the game. I've played the game. I was there in those anti-SJW days when, oh, look, Anita Sarkeesian dropped a new video. Time to go react. I get it. But do you know how many of those people had long-lasting appeal? None. Literally none. Can anybody name one of the also rans back in the day? Sargon's still around, sure. Shu, she's still there. Who else? Who else? Anybody remember all of the various different people that used to do those? You got to make it your own. You got to make it your own. Thank you. Thank you, Chicago Mike, who says, look, it's slush. Thank you for becoming a member for month number 21, my friend. I appreciate it. It's little slush brown. Oh, God. Moving along. Just if you're going to do it, please make it entertaining. Make it your own. Don't just repeat what everybody else is saying. God, I hate that shit. Anyway, we're really here to talk about the Hasan interview. And I'm going to be honest with you, have not watched it, haven't even seen a clip of it. The only clip I've seen that, oh, wait, we need our ducks. There we go. The only clip that I've seen was where, oh, I guess we should back it up. So Bernie Sanders and AOC have gone on their Commies Across America tour. I forget what they're really calling it, but it's for the working class so that they can't even have the bread. They're doing a tour across the country where they're going to promote their ideology. Fuck me. And we all know their ideology is communism. But no, it's for the working people. Yeah, that's how they sell communism to people because, hey, we're going to starve you to death just does not. What the hell just happened? I'm not good at my job. Anyway, because, hey, we're going to starve you to death and put you in gulags if you have a disagreement. And we're going to decide what job you're going to have. There'll be no upward mobility. Everybody's going to be poor. Just doesn't sell the same way as eat the rich. You know what I mean? But anyway, so AOC is giving a speech, and this happens.
We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too.
That's not AI. She actually said we need a Democratic Party that fights harder for you. I've often missaid things. You know, it happens. I'm not saying she's having a Joe Biden moment here or anything. But how do you accidentally say fart in that situation? Are you having discussions behind the scenes with your Democratic friends going, we need more Eric Swalwell? We need a Democratic Party that farts more for you. Yeah, I think they fart just enough for me. So maybe a little too much in some cases. But that's not why we're here either. We're here to talk about them sitting down with Hassan Piker, who decided to fly out, I believe this was in Vegas, and interview his two commie heroes. So on the screen, we have multimillionaires who are going to come tell you about how much they just absolutely love you poor people. They're here. Do you remember what Bernie Sanders said when he was questioned about his millions? His answer to people? Well, go out there and write a book. That's what I did. Bernie, we don't all have Democrats that are trying to buy us off who purchase a whole bulk shipment of our books. So we'll shut the fuck up and go away like you did. I don't know if you know that or not. But a whole bunch of rich people who espouse communism, even when they're too fucking cowardly to just say that's what they want. Because it is what they want. I know. I believe in democratic socialism. You mean communism? That's the stepping stone to it. Okay, let's do our Marx review. One more time for the slow people in the back. Socialism is not an end goal. Did you guys not actually read the book? Socialism is the way you convince capitalists to become communists. Because if you just have an instant commie revolution, there'll be chaos. That's Marx's actual teachings. So you got to slowly push them into communism by starting with socialism. The whole plan is communism. This is like the people who claim trans as their identity. No. You're supposed to be transitioning into something else. You can't just be, I'm trans. No. That's the journey, dipshit. The end is either male or female. But hey, you don't even know what socialism is. I know more about it than you do, obviously. No, but it's democratic socialism. Okay. All right, let's go with that. What if the democratic process says we don't want socialism anymore? Do you get to have Democrat not socialism? Does that work? How does that work exactly? We need democratic socialism. You can't. I've told you guys this so many times. Socialism and communism require authoritarianism. They are not compatible with democracy. Because if the people vote against it, you got to slap them down. You have to be like, oh, that's cute. It's really cute that you had an opinion there, but no. We're going to stay socialist or communist, whichever they will be honest about. No, we're going to let you guys vote, and totally, if you guys go against the socialist thing, if you prefer capitalism, we'll stick with that, right? Communism, capitalism, these are economic systems. Authoritarianism, democracy, these are political ideas. These are governance ideas. And some mix and match and some don't. You cannot have a socialist or communist society and not control the people outright. You have to control them. This is why the first people to die after a revolution is successful are the revolutionaries. Because you can't have them kicking up trouble. You can't have them pointing out that they're still eating like garbage even though you got rid of the czar. No, you can't talk about that right now. We're going to have to send you to the gulag, sir. Anyway, let's get into this. Like I said, I've literally not even listened to the opening of this. I might have heard Hassan's voice when I first went to the video, but I immediately paused it because if he fucks up at the beginning, I didn't want to miss the ability to respond to that live. I hope you guys can see his face. I think you can. On my screen, it tells me how long I've been live. So if you can't see Hassan's face on your screen, just picture an asshole. That's him.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we have Bernie Sanders and AOC in the building.
I do think that this is a big improvement for him. And last time we talked about him interviewing somebody, it was a terrorist. And I do wonder if anybody let AOC and Bernie here know that they're sitting with a man who supports Houthi terrorism. I wonder. You know what's weird about that? Donald Trump, rightfully, in my opinion, got some shit for going on certain podcasts during the election. And I don't care if you like some of the creators that he went on, but like Aiden Ross, I get why he went on there. I get that his son told him to. But he did not need to go on that Booger Pickers podcast to win. He didn't, not just Booger Picker. This dude eats his boogers on screen. Ugh. And he's a moron. The guy's a fucking moron. He was talking with Destiny one time, and Destiny said something to him. I forget what it was. And Aiden's like, where's that said? And Destiny says to him, it's in Mein Kampf 2, the sequel that Hitler wrote. And Aiden went, what? Wait, Hitler wrote a second book? There's a Mein Kampf 2? He really believed it. That's the moron that you went on his show. And that's just the nicest shit I can say about how fucking retarded Aiden Ross is and some of the stuff he did. So I get why people gave him some pushback on that. However, you have Bernie Sanders and AOC, two of the darlings of the communist left, on with a guy who openly supports terrorists. And we're not talking, hey, he says just the Palestinians deserve better. No. This is a guy who's argued for why the Houthis are right to engage in piracy and murder. He is literally a supporter of terrorists. And nobody's saying shit. I didn't see a single news article AOC and Bernie go on with terrorist supporter. I get why that happens, because our press is so disturbingly on the commie left. So I get it. But I don't accept it. It's just more proof of how fucking dirty our press is. These two idiots should be getting shamed constantly for being on with this man. This man who was friends with both Destiny and Vaush. You think he's the only one of that trio that doesn't have some let's call them skeletons in the closet? Thank you, Eric. I want AOC to run in 2028 because the Vance memes that are from that debate would be God level. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I hope she runs. See, the Democrats have it in their minds that she is incredibly popular. We just saw Don Lemon the other day. We need to put up people like AOC and Crockett and Eric Swalwell. Please run her. She is not popular outside of her district and very, very small pockets of communists. What's up, Jack? How you doing today, man?
How's it going, Monkey? I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, dude. I'm well, thanks.
Yeah.
Breathing much better today than yesterday, dude.
Sounded a lot better.
Yeah. I woke up tonight and I had a little tiny cough, but much, much better. So I'm a little wired actually from it. You know how you get after you've been sick and you get that one day where you feel better and you're just wired and you're like, I really should take it easy.
Yeah, but you want to go out and do all the stuff that you missed?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't really have that because I'm lazy, but I get it.
So yeah, I'm much better than I was. So anyhow, we're just getting into this, Jack. So you're here right on time. Unless you wanted to say anything about Snow White, because I was just kind of clickbaiting today. I still did talk about Snow White, so it's not clickbait, YouTube. Fuck you. But my point was mostly like, God damn, there's enough videos about it already.
It's obviously not good. It's gotten incredibly hateful responses from people that went and saw it. Even to the point that IMDb started taking reviews down.
I do wonder how much that Disney has made off ticket sales to people who only went so they could make a video to hate on it.
Probably quite a few.
I bet half of its ticket sales so far are just people who hate it.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty likely. But from what I've seen of various videos, the theaters are largely empty. This thing is going to lose a shit ton of money.
They're going to have to be really hoping for overseas sales.
Yeah, overseas sales and like home video and streaming, because that's the only thing that's going to save this turd. But they knew it was going to be a stinker, and they kept dumping money into it. So, something I think I missed from last stream was thank you Dixie Rose 63 for the feminist donation. Thank you, Jack. Missed the opening when I tuned in last night. Sorry about that. And thank you, Frosted. Just want to add a little context. Hasan proudly supports Houthi terrorists, yes, but don't forget the Houthis' official creed. God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, curse upon the Jews, victory to Islam. He's sitting next to a Jew.
Yep.
Look, your hate facts have no place here, Frosted. I mean, after all, that Houthi that he interviewed, he loves One Piece. And isn't that what's going to bring us all together?
One of the funniest things I saw was somebody saying that he interviewed the guy and said he wanted to be, or that he liked One Piece. Somebody replied, yeah, but after the bombing, he's not in one anymore.
He left in pieces.
I reached out to him and asked if his little friend was okay. We're just getting into it. So our commie friends are going to have a talk. I don't know why AOC is laughing. All that's happened so far is that Hasan has introduced him. But she got her donkey laugh going. Does this make Bernie Sanders Shrek?
Maybe. Does that make Hasan Mrs. Shrek?
Yes.
You guys are about to go up and speak at another one of the rallies that you've been doing, the Fighting Oligarchy tour.
Bernie Sanders is a millionaire.
And a communist. He loves oligarchy.
I pointed this out to him on Twitter. He doesn't respond to me or whoever runs his account. I don't blame him. Bernie, don't fire that guy. He's smarter than the guy that works for Ted Lieu. You can't get up there and bitch about how money's controlling politics and oligarchs when you're a fucking millionaire, dickhead.
I mean, you can. You're just a giant hypocrite. But he is very comfortable being a hypocrite in his third beach house.
Jesus fuck. All three of them are millionaires, Monkey. Well, technically she's not. Her fiance is, with money that came from her campaign that was funneled to him through consulting fees. But she's technically doesn't have that money yet. As far as I know, they haven't gotten married. So she's still just a bartender. I'm a lowly working class girl, just like you guys.
She's Jenny from the block.
I love the picture that goes with this fighting oligarchy. This looks like some bad movie poster.
Yeah, and if you look at it closely, it looks like somebody said, "Hey, we're going to take a picture," and she looked away.
Yeah. I don't, or more like on albums that they made fun of this in the one South Park. Like, you can't look like you want to be on an album cover if you're on an album cover.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to turn away and look like you just don't even care that they're taking your picture.
I don't even care, man. I'm so better than this. Oh.
Is this dude holding a tuba? No, that's a. Okay, never mind.
He's touching his tuba.
I don't know who the other two in the picture are. And I don't really care. They're all commies, so fuck them. But I do love that. Look at that. A lot of time and effort went in fighting oligarchy from rich politicians. Sure. This is how dumb the left is. Oh, do you guys just not know what oligarchy is?
Well, they've changed the definition of democracy, so
Sure.
Probably not.
Oligarchy is rich people running everything.
What?
Don't worry, they're totally poor like you. The AOC even wore jeans.
Oh my God! You know who else wears jeans? Normal people.
Working
She is
class.
just like us, guys.
Working class people. Yeah.
Yeah, the pores.
I saw somebody talking about this the other day, and they went, all of these politicians come out and they try to relate to you. He said, and Trump doesn't do that. It's one of the things that resonates with people with Trump, because Trump doesn't pretend he's like us.
No, he knows better. He's got $1 million gold toilet.
He doesn't pretend that he's the working man and that my grandpa wants none of that bullshit. He's just like, this is me. And they're all like, no, I'm just like you. No, you're not. No, you're not. I've never banged 30 guys in a bathroom at the bar I supposedly worked at.
I mean, you probably could, though.
I could, and then me and AOC would have so much more in common. Not saying she's ever done that, but
hypothetically,
hyperpathetically, her DNA mixed like a cocktail.
I'd put my cock in her too. I mean,
you gonna catch something that way. You better be careful.
Yeah, her boobs are sagging really bad. Have you noticed that lately?
No, because
it's
bad. I honestly don't. I don't find her attractive at all.
She is really not aging well. Real quick though.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Frank. They say eat the rich because they know under socialism there's nothing else to eat.
True.
Well, once you eat the zoo animals, you're pretty much just left with other people. So you might as well go for the cleanest ones.
I love that Hasan is wearing a shirt that says personal reality.
I mean, that does apply to him. He doesn't seem to be fully in touch with reality.
This is my own reality. Yep. All right.
in my safe space.
It goes so well with the fighting oligarchy with the rich people on the poster.
So sad.
Anyhow, okay, let's see what else he has to say.
And I'm very excited to have you here. Vegas, specifically for me, has a lot of importance because I always say it's like the last time that I felt really hopeful about the future of this country because I was outdoor knocking for you along with the Chapo boys as well in the primaries. And then,
we did pretty well, huh?
Yeah. And everyone kept saying, oh, the culinary union is not going to vote. But the rank and file very clearly was swinging.
Yeah, you did real well. Remember when he was the nominee for the presidency?
No.
And this is 2020, so you can't even be like they cheated him out of it.
In your direction, and in spite of the media attacks, you obviously pulled through, and then COVID.
Ocasio-Cortez wins second term in costly loss for Republicans. Her challenger had collected $10 million, but Miss Ocasio-Cortez still coasted to an easy win. You Republicans, why are you spending that much money in that district?
Yeah, it's let it burn. I mean, really.
The person who ran against AOC in the last two, actually all three of her elections now, your budget should have been like $50.
Yeah, I mean, they have to run someone, but do you really have to give them money to lose? That's a losing district. They have to be a lot more open and willing to admit that they've screwed up for 30 years.
Yeah.
And they're not there yet.
And I'm not saying don't fight. Okay, you can, but don't waste money. Don't waste money.
Yeah. You put up a perfunctory candidacy, do a little bit, and then move on. It's
Faithless says can't win if they don't fight. You have to pick your battles.
Yeah, in the battlegrounds. They'd be better off diverting that money toward a mayoral run.
Pick your battles. You're not going to beat this lady as a Republican right now. Her national what is it, a popularity rate is like in the 30s last I saw it. In her home district, it's way higher. It's like in the 70s there. Because it's mostly Democrats that live there.
It's almost entirely Democrats.
Yeah. Imagine if New York flipped red, though. Yeah, it'd be fine. That'd be great, but it's not going to be New York City, and definitely not where she's from.
Not her section of the Bronx. No.
That's like, hey, we'll take Pelosi's seat. Good luck.
Yeah, you need to. They need to be screwing up way worse than they are right now. Maybe in a few years, but not anytime soon.
And then all hell broke loose, obviously, and here we are. You don't have a lot of time, so and I'm sure that we'll get to talk a little bit more in the future as well. But I like that. I'm sure we'll get to talk more in the future.
They're like, I hope not.
They gave him like 10 minutes right before they had to go on stage. Oh, Hasan.
You silly little bitch. Afterthought. The
Japan.
Best part of Hasan rolled down his mom's leg.
He really did get a major boost when that fucking retard on the right there went on and played Among Us with him. And so he got a major boost from that. He understands the power of what he did right here. Even if he only got a minute with these two, that's going to blow up big on the left because they're retards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, and I got both of you guys gifts. I actually have another gift.
If he doesn't pull out a t-shirt pimping his own shit, this is a fail. You're really starting off by giving millionaire. I get it, you're rich too, but giving them gifts, I'm gonna suck up right to you. Here, let me bend and spread them for you.
It's a shirt that says Hasan, and then it's got a little drawing of him and AOC sucking his dick.
If it's a shirt with his merch on it, good for him. I just want to get that. Again, guys, I haven't watched this. I have no idea what it is. Otherwise, this is just sad, dude.
Well, it's kind of sad anyway, because I don't like any of these people.
Or if he broke out a gulag playset.
Gift for you, but unfortunately, I don't have your gift, the actual gift here. Hold on. This.
But you don't have an actual gift? What's the point of this then? You got a birthday card for him? I mean,
it's on back order.
I owe you one PS5. What?
Did he really just do this? It's Hasan. Oh God, I hate to give you advice, but just tell him afterwards off camera, like, guys, I got you a gift. I don't have it. I'll get it to you. Sorry about that.
Just have it sent to him. He doesn't need to even tell him about it.
Don't do it on camera.
Yeah, it just looks sloppy, like you have lazy people that work for you.
This one's for you. This is
oh my God, Jackie gave her a card.
Is it her birthday?
I have so much secondhand embarrassment for him right now.
I know. Well, maybe there's a $20 gift card to Olive Garden in there.
Palestinian movement in Japan.
Thank you.
Solidarity with Palestine. And this is a little train for public transit. I have a Japanese Communist Party pin for you as well, but unfortunately, because
I have a Japanese Communist Party pin for you.
I'd like to point out that my brother brought way better gifts when he was on tour. Like he'd get the little regional ones of the little guy that had a boner. And they were hilarious. There's one of he has little costumes, and it's just some dude with a raging heart on. And they have regional ones all over Japan. He didn't even get them anything cool or funny like that. This is just like, here's a little card from the Japanese, and here's a little choo-choo train. This is dumb.
If you're Bernie's people and you've been fighting against the charge of communism his entire career, do you want him somewhere where somebody's giving him a communist pin?
Well, they're the working people of Palestine or something. Is this a Palestinian thing?
No, what he said was that he has a Japanese Communist Party pin for him, but he didn't have it with him.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay.
I went over there and I checked out their headquarters, but
wait.
Yeah. Yeah, he was recently in Japan. Went over there, did a podcast with a guy who says that beating off to cartoon pictures of 12-year-olds is no big deal because the cartoon doesn't get hurt. That's who Hasan hangs out with when he goes overseas. Eric, thank you. Surprised he didn't give them a copy of the Hamas music video and a Jew finger. Oh, yeah. I loved when he played that video for the guy. Did you ever see that, Jack?
I'm back. What happened?
Oh, welcome back. Where Hasan had a guy on his show and he was trying to show him how cool Hamas is, and he shows him a video of a music video Hamas put together. And Hasan thought this guy was going to be like, oh, that's so cool. And the guy's just like, are you making me watch a terrorist video right now?
Right? No, they're very artistic musicians.
Wide-eyed pussy, thank you so much. It's 5 a.m. When the hell am I doing getting up for work? Being a responsible adult.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear it, but unfortunately, responsibility is very important. And well, you like money, right? Because you need it. So that's what you're doing. Just think of how awesome it's going to be to get off of work.
But anyway, as I was saying, Jack, this guy Hasan recently went over to Japan and went on a podcast with a guy who says that Lolly isn't bad because the 12-year-old you're jacking off to isn't real, so she's not hurt.
What?
Yeah.
Still jerking off to 12-year-olds. Thank you, Asian Thigh Gap. That's one of my favorites. Why didn't my sandwich maker wake me up properly? That is a question for the ages. I don't know. Maybe she just wanted you to sleep. So I don't know how much of that bitching I said a little bit ago you heard, because for some reason my internet just decided not to work for 5 minutes there. But as a tourist, I'm offended that he went to the Communist Party headquarters instead of seeing somewhere cool.
I'm just once again thinking about Bernie's staff. Wait. Not the way Hasan thinks about Bernie's staff. The people who work for Bernie.
Is Bernie trying to put the pin on right now?
No, he doesn't have the pin. He's playing with the truck or with the train on his belly.
On his that's not weird at all. Choo choo!
Like a kid. Oh, sorry. We must have just paused it. He was just straightening his shirt. I'm sorry, Bernie. You're not Joe Biden yet. I apologize. That's my bad.
Although I'd have more respect for him if he was playing with it like a little kid playing with the Hot Wheels on his shirt. That would have been kind of funny, at least.
What are you guys trying to accomplish with these rallies? Let's get started.
I mean, I think that what...
Okay, she's already lied because she said, I think.
Yeah, we all know that's not true. It's like two brain cells headbutting against each other wearing helmets.
Thank you, Roan. Hassan's One Piece pal is now in many pieces. Yeah. Rest in pieces. All right, so AOC going to drop some knowledge. What she think? God, I do not want to hit play on this, Jack.
I know you don't, buddy. But every time you hit play, I want you to remember that Cori Bush's husband got arrested.
Did he? Good.
Oh, yeah. Wire fraud.
Yeah, that dude's dirty.
Fuck yeah.
These rallies. Let's get started.
I mean, I think that
Wait.
These rallies. Let's get started.
Did you see Bernie wave at her? Like, yeah, you do it.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's like 100. He wants to take a little nap before.
I was wondering how she knew to go first because I was not paying attention to Bernie, but yeah, he just kind of like let the bitch say it. Hasan, shouldn't you know what? Never mind.
I mean, I think that what
I do need Hasan. Are you a journalist or not? Because you're acting like one here, or trying to. Anytime he gets in trouble for getting shit wrong or lying, he always says, I'm not a journalist. But then he does shit like this where he pretends he's a journalist and has called himself one before.
I think it's more the fact that he's called himself one in the past. Because, like, even commentators interview people occasionally, but he likes to present himself as whatever he needs at the moment.
Whether you and I like it or not, if somebody called us a journalist, they wouldn't be wrong necessarily.
Well, we're journalism adjacent because we talk about the news, but we're more commentators, I think.
But commentators are part of journalism.
Yeah, that's fair. We're a type of journalist, but we're not the traditional, like, going out on and gathering information from people kind of journalists. We're more aggregates.
the kind of moment that we're in, and also something that Trump was able to exploit, was really practicing, even though he doesn't believe in working class politics, they had a very focused working class strategy. And I think
we'll make it so you can eat is not a working class strategy.
Well, not for a communist, because eating is verboten.
We'll lower your taxes. I thought you guys told us that was just for rich people. After running on working class message. Trump did not run on a working class message. He ran on a everybody's being screwed message.
And he's correct.
And he's right. Remember, you guys were mad because he's going to cut taxes for his millionaire friends. You think he was doing that for the little guy, right? You can't have it both ways, dickheads.
Well, they are so desperate to say that Trump's base is turning on him that that message is failing, so they're flailing and trying to get something else. So now it's like he's a fraud. He says he's for the working class, but he's not.
He ran on an every class message. Yes, Frosted, exactly. He ran on an America message. But I love this headline. After running on a working class message, Trump fills his government with billionaires. Did he promise working class people they were going to get to be cabinet secretaries?
Yeah, I never heard that before. Also, I want successful people making successful decisions.
Yeah. Who knows more about the working class than the people who employ them?
I would think. I mean,
God damn.
Who gives poor people jobs? Rich people.
For a while, like Democratic Party clearly wasn't effective at that, wasn't successful at that. And I think one of the things that
Wait. It wasn't just you guys weren't successful in your working class message, because you had the same message that's worked for you many times before. It's that it was exposed for the lie that it is. You know, like having a fucking senator who's a millionaire bitching about oligarchs.
Yeah, they're a bunch of hypocrites. Aren't you tired of all the rich people? I don't know, Pelosi. You're worth 126 million.
We're just like you. I eat $18 a pint ice cream
For my $20,000 refrigerator,
which she had 2 of.
Yeah.
we're here to do is to actually rally a class conscious movement.
Communism.
Class conscious movement sounds suspiciously like communism.
It's 100% communism. Why do you gotta lie? Why do you gotta lie?
Because they know communism, selling that as a package, is not a successful plan in the States.
Yes, guys, I know George died. We talked about it at the very top of the show. It's literally the first thing I talked about.
To bring people together and to show that we can fight for a better future, not in marginalizing and attacking people, marginalized people, but actually
Not about marginalizing marginalized people. Do you think that was the problem? Because your marginalized people were put up on a pedestal for this. I mean, even Hasan was like, how dare they point out trans is weird? No, nobody's out here for woke. Nobody ran on woke stuff. That's what they actually said after the election. Nobody ran on woke stuff.
Uh-huh. Right.
Kamala Harris getting questioned about her support of giving sex change operations to criminals, convicted criminals. Remember the response to that? It had Donald Trump. That was their answer.
Look, if you don't understand that Orange Man is bad, I don't know what to tell you.
Kamala picked a guy to be her running mate who put tampons in boys' bathrooms.
And he'd do it again.
Fuck. The marginalized people that you guys lost were white men because you keep telling us how much we suck.
Well, if it wasn't your fault for everything, you wouldn't have these problems.
So what's going on with AOC here? Notice that she brought up Trump immediately within the first, and it wasn't other than to say he's not actually doing it. It's to tie herself to what he tapped into. Do you know where that comes from? That comes from, it comes from the news after the election, finding out that AOC voters also voted for Trump. And several people, I think even Shu talked about this, went and asked, why do you think this is happening? You're just like Trump. Everybody sees in you a new way forward.
A more retarded helmet wearing way.
Yeah. Look, the movie Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy, not the best movie ever, Jack. It's passable for a comedy that you're going to forget later.
Yeah, Bowfinger was better.
But they pointed out that in politics, it doesn't usually matter who your congressman is. People just vote for whoever the current congressperson is. It's why you don't see massive waves anywhere. A big switch is like 40 people, which is 10% of Congress. That's a massive move. Honky donkey, thank you. I love the word honky, Jack. It makes me laugh.
Especially when combined with other words. It's always funny.
Honky donkey, thank you so much. A socialist that has become a random millionaire, it must be down to skill. Thank you so much. Sorry about my reading. Remember, guys, if you're trying to get me to read better, caps helps.
Or make me do it. Whatever.
Yeah, thank you so much for the donation. But yeah, she is trying to tap into the Trump thing because she thinks, and this is going to be so funny going into 2028. Make no mistake, that's what this is about. This is about pumping her up for 2028.
It's going to be full of something, all right, by 2028.
Yeah. She is going to have it in her head that they love me like they love Trump, but I'm better because I have the socialist worldview.
And she's brown and a woman.
Yeah, so marginalized. Oh God, we not marginalized the marginalized. You are the ones who do it.
I agree.
Marginalizing and attacking people, marginalized people, but actually in rejecting the differences that we have to come together in common cause and to organize folks.
Okay, I want to listen to that again because
it made no sense.
I don't think that I'm going to let it play in its entirety, or at least from wherever we are here, because I did pause a little bit, Jack, and okay, a little bit's kind of an understatement, but sometimes stuff gets lost in translation when we do that. So let's hear it all in its wonderful glory.
To actually rally a class-conscious movement to bring people together and to show that we can fight for a better future, not in marginalizing and attacking people, marginalized people, but actually in rejecting the differences that we have to come together in common cause and to organize.
Okay, I get what she was trying to say there. She was having a Kamala moment here, and she started a sentence and didn't know where it was going and tried to bring it back around. We're going to build a movement of commies who don't focus on differences. That's what you meant. Okay. The way you said it, even listening to it without any pauses in it, you lose everybody because you didn't know what you were going to say. And how did you not know that this would be one of the... You're literally on the tour to do this. And you're like, oh, we're here. We're queer. I know I'm supposed to say something. This woman's an idiot.
What?
Nice folks.
Well, I agree.
You did not even understand what she just said. Shut up.
To me, this country faces the worst set of crises that we have faced in a very, very, very long time.
Could you give us an example of something worse? I just want to know where we're at. Are we talking January 6th? Because that was the worst crisis that we'd faced in a long, 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 long time. Are we talking 9/11?
No, January 6th was worse than 9/11.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Or at least on par with it. So that's just redundant to bring them together, right?
No, it was like Pearl Harbor got hit by 9/11. And
Building 7 fell on Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. And then that created an earthquake, which set off Krakatoa and covered half the world for 10 years, leading to no summer for 10 years. That's what January 6th was, Monkey.
I just want to know what he's comparing it to. Because long time. We're not all as old as you, so just let me know which one.
He remembers the Russian Revolution.
we are looking at a nation which is now oligarchic.
What nation? You mean like Ukraine, where they got a couple of rich people running everything, and they're not allowed to hold elections or be a Roman Catholic priest?
Even if I
Or
wasn't
Russian Orthodox.
Even if I wasn't going to make fun of the millionaire senator talking about oligarchy again, what about the Soroses?
Oh, monkey! How dare you attack a Jew?
What is that gay little George Soros son's name?
I don't know. Poofed.
Y'all, you know who I'm talking about? The one who like wants to look like Hasan but looks like gayer Hasan.
I don't. Let's not get carried away insulting the Soros boy. He's way more masculine than Hassan.
You have not, Alex. Thank you. Have you seen Alex Soros?
Yeah, and I think Hassan is way gayer.
I think your gaydar's broken again.
Probably. Real quick though, thank you, Lil Miss Teeth Drag. Maybe AOC can come become transport secretary. She knows how to make trains run on her. I don't think that's the type of trains that you want the government running. It'll be way less exciting then.
Countries run by oligarchs.
I mean, Bernie would know. He's one of the rich people in power.
This country has always been run by rich people. It just has.
Oh, they're usually the ones that can afford to run for office.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter, Mr. I'm a Farmer, was a multimillionaire in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, he was super rich.
I was a peanut farmer. No, you owned a peanut farm. Actually, your family did. The peanut workers were the ones who were doing the hard work.
Yeah, it's not like he was out there throwing bales of hay around.
And you guys kept a monopoly on it by using the government to keep other people from growing peanuts.
Shh, that's a hate fact.
You guys do know that, right? That there's a law about how many peanuts could be grown. Just like for a long time, they were paying farmers not to grow corn because you can grow corn literally everywhere.
Yeah.
I know. You're going to kill the price for our rich friends.
Excuse me. We didn't do our land acknowledgement, and it's pronounced maize. Thank you.
Maize. Anyway, sorry. Country run by oligarchs. Get fucked, you old commie.
And they don't hide it. I mean, I must give them credit for that.
Them, like he's not one of them.
Yeah, those people.
Hey, Bernie, can I have an interview? You let that dude do it. How do I get to interview Bernie Sanders?
Well, first join the Japanese Communist Party.
No, I'm not, one of those gay little anime guys, and I don't like communists, so there's no way I could do that.
I'm actually kind of surprised there is a communist party in Japan. Feudal system, yeah, I could understand that completely, but communists? Come on, guys. What are there, 12 of you?
They're out there. Mr. Musk, the richest guy in the world, is running all over the place, cutting the needs of veterans, going after Social Security.
Cutting the needs of veterans.
He's not doing any such thing.
I love that Hasan is helpfully adding these headlines. So
running all over the place, cutting veterans.
Yeah.
VA pauses billions in cuts. Lauded by Musk as lawmakers and veterans decry loss of critical care.
They always screech, it's cutting critical care. No, it's not. They're cutting waste.
Dark Conservatarian, thank you so much. Hi, guys. I'm in Kansas City visiting family and hoping to meet Don Bluth. Wait, he's still alive?
Nice.
In person at Comic-Con. Here's some money to my favorite Jewish Nazis. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks for the support, man. Enjoy Kansas City.
And the Comic-Con.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, Comic-Cons are always fun.
Are they? They stink.
Well, I mean, you just don't take deep breaths. Back in the 90s, it was so much worse when you saw a couple women that weren't models that were paid to be there, and they were always somebody's girlfriend, if they were reasonably attractive. But now it's like a family event. You actually see a lot of couples, a lot of fat chicks, and really unattractive, hideous monsters. But it's a lot less smelly now because of all the women there. The guys have actually started
Washing.
not like, well, they don't wash per se. They just wash more frequently. So it's like once a fortnight instead of once every 2 months.
Why does Axe not have a booth at every one of these? That place should smell like Axe.
You would think so, but they would have to have like Captain America Axe brand. Although there's $1 million marketing idea, Axe.
I beat you, Faithless. Rick, yes, we talked about George at the top of the stream, and before we get back to these idiots, can I just say I'm touched by how many of you guys have come in and said, "Hey, have they talked about George yet?" George Foreman, no matter what you think about boxing, was a nice guy. I never heard anything really horrible about him. He's a pastor. He fought for his country. When the Black Power folks were doing their bullshit at the Olympics, he took his flag around the ring after he won the gold medal. And when people cheered, he raised it higher.
Fuck yeah.
And was demonized for it in the Black community. He was a great guy, good dude. And yeah, never bit anybody's ear. That's true. That we know of. George in his heyday, man, that motherfucker was like mean. He had an anger problem when he was a young boxer.
Well, a lot of those guys do. It's probably steroids, but
no, he did not steroids. His was this is before the steroid. This is when boxers were fat. When none of them had muscle tone whatsoever. Go back and watch the greats from before.
Like Butterbean and those guys.
No, not like that. Like George Foreman was. I mean, George Foreman was probably one of the most in shape boxers at the time. He didn't have 6-pack abs. He didn't have the square muscles you see in boxing now. Dead giveaway that it's growth hormone, dummies. But anyway,
I still love my grill. I've got 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't have one anymore. But I loved my Foreman grill when I had it. The only problem I had with my Foreman grill is there were 5 of us, me, my wife, 3 kids, and it takes a while to cook enough food on there for everybody. If you're making like burgers.
Oh, you should get one of the big ones. They have like a family size one.
We had at the time the biggest one you could get, and you could cook 3 hamburgers on it at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks. I've got 2 of I've got one that's for 2 people and a personal one. Because I bought one and then my brother gave me his by dying. So I've got 2 of them, and I keep one upstairs and one downstairs because there's an upstairs kitchen.
Didn't mean to start to digress. Pfft. What show are you watching?
Right? We don't need your help. We do this just fine on our own.
Anyway, back to good.
Hang on. Well, in a way, we're circling back. Thank you, Sucky $5. They had no problem with Musk when they were whoring themselves up for donations or pushing electric vehicles.
Nope. They love to have their virtue signal, right, Mark Kelly? Anyway, all right. What was he talking? I don't even care.
The needs of veterans, cutting after Social Security.
DOGE attacks on Social Security officials could have dire consequences. How? I need it spelled out more. This is from MSNBC, so I don't believe a word they say. But in fairness to me, that's only based on experience.
There are in addition to Musk, he got
wait. I need to read that again.
He's cutting after social.
DOGE attacks on Social Security officials could have dire consequences. The SSA's recent announcement of its intent to eliminate 7,000 jobs. Okay, when I hear officials, I don't think you're rank and file workers. I think management, right? I think CEO or director, depending on, whether they're money laundering or not. I hope the Social Security Administration didn't have what we would call 7,000 officials. Maybe they did. I mean, that one had 56 directors, so or what was it? Senior level management.
Yeah. Well, these people complaining, just like Faithless, I think it was, just said, are the ones pissing the money away. They should be losing their jobs. Those are the wasteful people and programs that they're trying to get rid of.
How much more money would there be for old people if we weren't giving 7,000 people a yearly wage with benefits?
What's the other day that Elon Musk tweeted about this program that had like 70 employees in a 9-story building?
Oh, I missed that one.
I was like, what the fuck? What kind of insane waste of money is that?
Can you say CIA, ladies and gentlemen?
Right? Is that a black site? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing out of there? You're playing laser tag? Because then I could understand it. That'd be sweet.
They call a group with 7,000 jobs to cut a skeletal staff. Yeah. Can you believe the skeletal? Yeah, because it goes on to say, slicing the agency's already skeletal staff down to the marrow. Yeah.
Government is way too bloated, and they all think their jobs are necessary. Guess what? They're not. Most of what government does is inefficient and largely useless, which is why they all try and justify their jobs by saying how critical it is. So you can't trust them. They're biased. They're the ones that are going to lose their money. That's why I don't trust climate change people. They're all getting federal grants.
For the record, the Social Security Administration employs 57,000 people. Skeletal crew. God bless, man.
And they're the people writing checks out to, a 200-year-old vet?
Can you imagine any company saying that having 57,000 employees was a skeletal crew?
No, because that company would be out of business. It'd be failing miserably. Or it would be massively successful.
Oh, okay, anyway.
Social Security. There are in addition to Musk, you got 13 nominees of Trump to head major agencies. They're all billionaires. So you got a government, clearly, no embarrassment of the.
Why should they be embarrassed about hiring people that are successful? People who know how to do things, typically in those fields.
This is why this dirty commie cunt has switched from millionaires to the billionaires. Soon as he became a millionaire, go look. Before he became a millionaire, he was bitching about millionaires. Not billionaires, man. He added that shit later. You know, after the DNC checks cleared from his book sales. You ever met anybody who's read Bernie's book?
No.
Because nobody read that shit, because nobody gives a shit about even Shoe on Head didn't. She might have bought one, if we're going to be honest, but she didn't read that shit.
I'd be shocked if she actually read that.
That shit's sitting on a shelf somewhere.
That's holding up a coffee table that was uneven.
Got it made into a waifu pillow. Anyway.
Ugh.
The billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. And
Suddenly oligarchy's just billionaire class for billionaire class for billionaire class. Weird.
I'm going to write my memoirs and then run for office and tell everybody to buy my book so I can become a multimillionaire.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Bernie told you that's how you need to do it if you want to make money.
Yeah,
write a book.
It's a good scam.
And then what is, I would hope, would be upsetting to all Americans, no matter what their politics may be. You can be conservative about this. You got a president who is moving us very rapidly into an authoritarian form of society.
As opposed to the last 4 years when we didn't know who our government was led by.
You guys said Trump was trying to kill people because he wanted COVID lockdowns to end by Easter. And then you locked us all down, made us stand 6 feet apart and keep a diaper on our face, which I still maintain was a maxi pad.
Unless you were sick and then you got sent to an old folks home to kill them.
You guys were sending the FBI to go check out churches because they might have been saying the wrong thing. and sending them to go to school board meetings because the parents were upset that you guys were teaching them how to blow adults. How dare he's leading us to an authoritarian society, but I can't tell you how. Frosted, thank you. Armored Skeptic got the book in the breakup. Stop it. Oh, was that in her Bernie phase? I mean, she's always been a Bernie bro, but were they still together? I don't remember when they broke up.
Don't overanalyze it. You'll drive yourself insane. The less you think of Armored Skeptic, the happier you're going to be.
No, so because I've watched several shoe videos lately, he popped in my mind. I'm like, what's up with that guy? And I went and looked it up. And okay, I want you to picture a Hollywood movie, Jack.
Okay.
And there's a character who comes out who's clearly gay and is a guru. That's how this motherfucker was wearing a muumuu on his stream.
Oh, has he gotten that fat?
No.
Oh.
No. He's still about how he used to look, except for he's trying to look like Dave Navarro, and Jesus had a gay kid.
Oh my God, he's like trying to look like a literal guru.
Yeah. Go look at it and tell me he's not the Hollywood version of what a guru is.
I don't want to look at him. He's so weird looking.
Thank you, Ishmael Goldstein. Have you heard about Raid Shadow Legends? Thank you so much, my friend.
Hey, until they cut us a check, we're not talking about those fuckers.
All right, now I have to do it. I'm going to bring up Armored Skeptic. You got to see this, man. How far he's fallen.
Well, I think he realized late on that maybe breaking up with Shu was not the good idea he thought it was.
All right, let's see. There he is.
Oh my God, he looks sickly. Well, we got Timu Rasputin there.
Right.
Jesus. So he was like normal looking, a little on the chubby side when he was with Shu. They break up. He gets super fat, and now he looks like he shoots heroin and tries to trick the czar into giving him money.
Oh, it's fucking weird. I saw that. I was like, oh my God. Okay.
Now I gotta listen to Boney sing Rasputin. Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
Okay, here we go.
There was a cat that really was going.
I mean,
how's that for an aside for you?
See, we don't need help. That song is gonna be stuck in my head all fucking night now.
Into an authoritarian form of society.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you don't sue media in America because they say something bad about you. Alexander,
you do if they lie. We literally have laws. They're pretty old in this country, actually. If they're telling lies about you, that's how you fight back against it, because we don't limit their speech, but you can get in trouble for it. Speaking of which, the Tates have sued a whole bunch of people who
saw that
criticized them.
Made the list.
Yep, and Viva Frey, being the little Tate dick sucker that he is like, this is why you don't do defamatory. What is it? Defamation. Sorry, defamation per se, because you get in trouble.
No,
yeah.
that's no. You're allowed to form an opinion and base it on evidence. None of these people are likely to lose that lawsuit.
Well, the great thing about it is that Murder by Crayons addressed that, and he said, "I will get to prove what I said in court."
Yeah.
And Viva Frey's response to that was how quickly they turned to, "It's just my opinion." He didn't say it's just my opinion. He said, "I will prove what I said in court."
Yeah, that means he's saying facts. So if you don't believe what you're saying is true, then you're in real trouble. But if you believe what you're saying is true, it's an opinion, asshole. Go back to Canada, you fucking retard. Plus, all of these people should countersue them, and then they can get some sweet, sweet discovery.
Yeah, well, they'll get discovery in this anyway because their claims are all based on things that Tate has said.
Yeah,
but Barnes's
they'll get very
butt burglar
limited.
doesn't know that shit because he's a fucking retard who just is like,
There's that.
we're supposed to like Tate, so I'm gonna do it.
They want that tape money.
Oh yeah, they want that Tate audience, man. Whew.
Yeah. Real
they're-
quick.
They're
sorry.
loyal to a fault.
That
Yeah,
is sadly true. Thank you. I do crazy. So we had Boxy and we had June Spoon. Who is the iteration for this decade? I don't know. It's a good question.
I haven't seen anybody who would qualify. Actually, still Shoe basically.
Yeah. Somebody will come along. Don't worry.
All right. By the way, I read through that lawsuit, and it's mostly a large part of it is just the lawyer whining that the other lawyers have been mean to him online.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fucking great.
I'll be surprised if it doesn't get thrown out, honestly. If they get a decent enough lawyer for each of these guys, they could get that dismissed pretty quickly.
They're gonna have a hard time. One of the things, their best argument is there's a Florida law that says you can't insinuate somebody has sexually transmitted diseases. That's how you prove defamation per se. And I'm not saying per se, like per se. That's actually the legal thing, defamation per se.
Yeah.
And one of the things you can't do is suggest that Andrew Tate from banging trannies has AIDS. You can't say that Andrew Tate has AIDS, that his junk is herpes-ridden from all the transvestites he's had sex with.
Yeah, you can't talk about like postulating oozing sores that may or may not be on his scrotum.
No,
and say that in an accusatory way about him. That would be defamation. So you don't
can't
do that.
suggest he got monkeypox from taking it in the butt. That is defamation per se based in Florida. So
yeah. So by saying what they did say, they were going off of the charges against him largely and his own words. And they just have to get those videos admitted into evidence of him saying these things and the translations of the Romanian charges against him, and they're going to win. Tate has almost no chance of winning this.
No, and that's not the point. The point isn't to win. The point is to harass.
Yeah, it's to find out who they are and dox them and to drain them of money.
For the record, for all you fucking conservatives out there who are like, he's just like Trump. He's using lawfare against people. Fuck you. He's not defending himself. He's using the legal system to punish his opponents. You know, the women he's accused of sex trafficking. Yeah,
they were
just the
one
same.
of the victims.
They're just the same, Candace. Let me get back to liberals I hate instead of conservatives I do.
Drew and I got about 500 lawsuits there, but we happen to believe in democracy.
You can sue people who are lying about you in the press and still believe in democracy. You know what you can't do? Sue to remove people from the ballot. Let's examine the things the Democrats did. They sued to remove him from the ballot versus the thing that Trump has done, sued people who've lied about him. Which of those two things is actually in any way related to democracy?
To be fair, they also tried to get him thrown in jail, and
True.
then they resorted to having him shot at.
They impeached him the second time to keep him from being able to run again. It was their stated goal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's okay when they do it. That's to save democracy. We have to destroy it.
So in their world, in order to save democracy, you need to be able to lie about people in the press, remove them from the ballot, throw them in jail, and impeach them so that they have a record where they can't run again.
Yeah, and take all their money.
Democracy.
Democracy. Sounds a lot like
Cuban style. We went to the same place, just different ways.
Right? Fucking A, man. Thank you, Circus Zero. Neither Tate nor Murdered by Crayons did not live in Florida when the suit is being brought, so it's likely to be dismissed on jurisdiction. The Tate's theory is that somebody in Florida could have read those tweets.
Yep.
So it will likely get thrown out on jurisdiction, but they'll have enough information on these guys to go sue them in their home states. And some of them aren't Americans, by the way, because they're dumb.
A lot of the people involved are still anonymous. This is a fishing expedition to get their names.
Yeah. They're gonna file to get subpoenas to get X to divulge who these people are, because a lot of them are verified users.
Yep.
And get their names, addresses, phone numbers, all that, so they can stalk and harass them or sue them in their various states or homelands, because a lot of them are admittedly not American.
Yeah. All right. So, democracy. We believe in democracy. God damn it.
You don't ask for the impeachment of judges.
Mhm.
You guys impeached him twice.
Did they try and impeach judges before?
I don't know if they tried, but they were certainly talking about it, especially with like Thomas and Alito.
Yeah, they wanted to stack the court. Yeah, I don't know.
And for the record, I know people don't like this, but the judges it's their job. They can make bad decisions. You have to prove, in order for, in my opinion, Jack, for bad behavior, because they're allowed to serve in good times of good behavior, is what it says. It either has to be a criminal act, or you have to, in some way, prove that they knew that their judgment that they were handing down was wrong, because then you could prove that would be bad behavior. If they were doing it, if they were pulling an AOC here and going, hey, it's factually wrong, but it's morally correct, then you could do it, in my opinion. And I know we're not supposed to be like that. I watched Razor Fist video. We're supposed to just go scorched earth. But if you have no principles, then why are you even fighting? Just to fight?
Some people just like to fight.
Yeah. Cirque, thank you. May not be able to catch many live shows since I quit my job on the 9th and waiting to start the new, and won't be able to listen on the job now. Oh, that sucks, man.
Oh, well, I hope you're happier at the new job, at least.
Me too, yeah. Hope the new job is something that you were hoping to get, and not, not
a crappy placeholder job.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll miss you, but I'll see you in the comments.
Yeah, there's always replayed comment section. And of course, we're both on X, so.
Because they issue a ruling which you disagree with. So it is.
Does that include what's her name? Judge Cannon?
We don't talk about that.
Oh, my bad.
These are tough times, and what we have got to do is rally.
Hey, that's right. Damn it, Jack. We just weren't thinking.
Oh yeah.
When a judge does something you don't like, you're supposed to go to their house armed.
That's right. That's right. Especially if it's a Supreme Court judge. That's what I learned when they did nothing about that guy that was trying to hunt the Supreme Court judges.
Democracy. Remember when they were walking past justices' houses, to intimidate them?
Yeah. Yeah, because of a decision they didn't like.
Democracy. Remember when Bernie spoke out against that? Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. When was it that we were supposed to burn down black businesses again? Is that
Never.
Because of no, that I remember they did this though, because they were upset about somebody dying or something. So if you're upset about somebody of that color dying, you're supposed to go burn businesses.
No, what happened there? It's been a while, Jack. So it's we're getting old. I get that your memory's gone. Trash cans hate black businesses, and they would get so angry they would burst into flames and then throw themselves into black businesses.
That's right, because the trash cans are the heralds of Antifa.
Yes.
So whenever Antifa is out in force, when there's like a tard of Antifa, because it's like a murder of crows or a clouder of cats, it's a tard of Antifa. When there's like 10 or more of them, trash cans just get super angry and combust.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes things just get caught on fire.
Yeah, it's collateral damage, Jack.
Yeah. Now, since a lot of Antifa are on the sex offender registry, do they have to notify their PO that they're going to be out that night?
They should.
I mean, maybe it's their ankle monitors that are setting it off.
That's why they keep going down to like precincts, because there's no playgrounds right around them.
The working families of this country to stand up to oligarchy and to demand that we have an.
All right, working families, go out there and demand this man step down. He's the one that wants you to do it, not me. I'm just trying to help Bernie out here.
That's some of that commie self-loathing.
An economy and a government that works for all, not just the people on top.
So one way that this government, I think, the Trump administration has been able to very expertly tackle these issues is by using an entry point of pre-established marginalization.
We're just going for all the buzzwords, huh?
Yeah, they've got a Rolodex of shitty, stupid sayings.
Entry point of pre-established marginalization.
Yes. It's called the butthole.
The fuck does that even mean?
That doesn't mean anything. That's just buzz phrasing. It sounds like you're mildly intellectual to a dumb person. They're like, oh, yeah, pre-established. Oh, yeah, those are smart people terms. You must be smart.
Just throw pre in front of a word and it makes you sound smarter. Anyhow, okay, he's getting to a point here. All right. At the end of this, we're going to take a poll. But since we're 4 minutes into it now, just under halfway, let's take a poll. Who is dumber? 1 for Hasan, 2 for Bernie, and donkey for AOC. 1, 2, or donkey. By the way, my money is on 1 for the moment here. Because AOC was at least smart enough to get herself elected when somebody else did it for her.
Tackle these issues is by using an entry point of pre-established marginalization. Obviously, the erosion of civil liberties is happening all around, but like in terms of attacking free speech, a fundamental principle that I think all Americans agree on.
What century are you in, homie? You do realize that there's actually polls that have been done at college campuses where 40% have said no to free speech, right? I think all Americans agree on that. Then you're an idiot. They should. Absolutely they should, but they don't, you dumbass. You don't even. Fuck you. So they used an entry point of pre-established marginalization. And then he says, there's attacks on civil liberties like free speech. Unless you're suggesting that those of us who actually believe in free speech are a marginalized group, the fuck are you talking about? What does that even... This is beyond word salad. This is the Kamala Harris verbal diarrhea bullshit.
No, I'm telling you, they create these buzzwords because they pass a focus group of dummies. They find dumb people that'll follow what they say, and it makes these guys look smart because they used these college academia words.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
No, this is how uneducated most people are these days. That this sort of thing appeals to them for some reason.
Regarding the poll, thank you, Frank, who says the answer is yes. All right, oh, God.
And the way that he's done this, the way that this administration has attacked free speech is by doing something that previously has only been utilized in the darkest times of American history. I'm, of course, talking about Mahmoud Khalil being potentially being deported, or at least having his green card revoked.
The darkest times in American history. Sure. Please say internment camps, because it's never complete for me when you guys pull this bullshit without you guys saying internment camps.
Yeah.
Mahmoud Khalil was out there advocating for terrorists, and not just like, I think Hamas is great. He was actually employed to do what's the word I'm looking for here? Negotiations on their behalf. Get fucked.
Yeah, he was an agent of a terrorist group. They've arrested a couple other people for the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's tons of people out there who have absolutely been beating their chest about how much they love Hamas who have not been silenced in any fucking way. Go fuck yourself. You're one of them.
Yep.
You hosted a goddamn terrorist on your channel, and you didn't even get in trouble for it.
No, in fact, he made quite a bit of money off of it. Sound.
For basically nothing. That the administration is
Well,
basically nothing.
To Hasan, that is basically nothing because Hasan is a terrorist sympathizer. He does not like Americans. He doesn't really like white people or Jews. So, yeah, what this guy did to Hasan is fighting a good fight.
One of his little chatters says, I can't believe this is happening. Wow. It's not. It's okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
has all but admitted.
Go ahead, bud.
Thank you, Evolved Potato. Speaking about judges, a judge has decided that the Trump administration isn't allowed to hire people they don't like. A former DOGE employee was banned from being employed at USAID. Did not explain why, even after being asked. Oh, look, judges are not to be questioned by the plebeians. How dare you?
Yeah, as I said before, I don't know what the answer is, but courts do need reined in. The use of injunctions. Have you seen that, Jack? There have been more injunctions against Trump in the past 2 months than were issued against Barack Obama's administration in 8 fucking years.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot worse too. Trump's just getting
for
started.
No discernible reason.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, but what?
I was just saying, Trump's just getting started. We're only, 2 months into his reign?
Yeah.
It's getting awesome.
Basically nothing. That the administration has all but admitted it for no discernible reason other than the fact that he was the lead negotiator on the student side.
Other than exactly why we would deport someone off their green card.
Literally the reason they're doing it, which falls in line with the law. Like, other than that, I watched a video from this chick that popped up in my timeline, and it was a defense of Andrew Tate, and she says in it that he's been arrested with no evidence at all. And I just said to her, except for all the times he's admitted to everything he's been accused of, yeah, there's nothing except for that.
Yeah, and all the witnesses and victims that came forth, talked to the cops, their interviews and statements that were recorded. Yeah, aside from all that.
This is like, I got pulled over for speeding. Other than going 65 in a 35, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, in front of a dash cam with 5 witnesses. I mean, come on, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, God.
The student protesters at Columbia campus. On top of that, just like in Nazi Germany, the Trump administration is now trying to put up an academic receivership and take charge and take control over different institutions within Columbia. And I feel like this is a
just like Nazi Germany.
Can I cough in Title IX?
Yes.
Title IX.
Oh, God. All right. Yeah, that's what Hitler did wrong, guys. He took over the universities. It does make sense, though, because the commies and the socialists in Germany, that was the fight in Germany. So I get it. He doesn't like Hitler because his side lost that. They wanted to be the ones to oppress the people, and damn it, the socialists got in there.
Yeah, those bastards. Bet all of you that voted for AOC are feeling silly now.
A demand for the university's administration to place the Middle Eastern Studies Department under receivership could, what does it say? Signal a broader crackdown across the United States. How come you don't have a problem with the federal government telling states how they have to run their elections despite the Constitution, which is done to make sure racism isn't happening? You guys are mad that got overturned, but how dare you make sure that they're not, preaching terrorism in a college campus? Look, I don't think there should be a receivership, Jack. What I think they should do is just pull all our federal funding from colleges and let them fail or not.
Yeah.
And be done with it. But can you stop with the histrionics here? Stop with this nonsense.
It's not histrionics when you're being ruled by the reincarnation of Hitler in Nazi Germany, monkey.
When was Trump born? What?
1933.
It wasn't like April of 70 or 45, was it?
Yeah, conveniently he was grown in a tube the same day Hitler allegedly shot himself.
Grave mistake. Do you feel like the Democrats have any sort of interest in fighting back against this? Not even.
You do know that Democrats have actually arrested people for speech, right?
Nuh-uh.
We have a law on the books that says you can go to fucking federal prison for a felony if you say the wrong thing too close to an abortion clinic.
Oh, they learned it from the British because of that lady silently praying.
Regardless of what their opinion might be on Israel, the fact is that this is greatly going to expand, and it's simply just the entry point.
So the entry point of pre-established marginalization is terrorists on college campuses. Gotcha. Okay, yes. I got where you went. Okay,
it's an entry point for the Jews.
They're going to crack down on all speech, not like the Democrats. No. Because they're going after. Look, if instead of Muslims being out there doing what they were doing, it was the Aryan Nation or the KKK out there pulling their like, fuck the Jews, you guys would be demanding they were arrested.
Well, yeah, they're white.
But since it's people who are quite literally supporting terrorists, but they're brown terrorists that I like.
Yeah, they're historically marginalized because of their skin tone, monkey.
I mean, their women are definitely historically marginalized.
Yeah, but that's by them and not whitey, so we don't really look at that. It's like black on black crime.
I forgot about this. Do you know Hasan went on a rant about how pro-trans Iran is?
Because they force people to get transition surgery and butcher them?
He didn't know that part of it. He'd only heard the bullshit about them, the Riley Dennis. Actually, Iran is one of the most progressives in the world because they give free sex change operations to people who don't want them.
Wow. That tells you right there about the kindness of the left. They think that's progressive. Oh, wow. Dr. Mengele must be like his fucking hero then. He was trying to fix all the tards and the oopsies.
Let's just be clear about what Iran is doing. They catch gay people, and if they refuse to transition, they kill them. That's progress in this fucking retard's mind.
Yeah, you're half a step away from royal eunuchs at that point. But instead, they just carve you open and leave a gaping wound in your crotch. Because this Iran is not a first world medical facility, okay?
This fucking retard, man.
Palestine conversation is simply an entry point that has at least like some semblance of institutional backing.
Okay, Hasan, your question has gone on for over a minute. You're the interviewer here. You have them for a short time. Just ask. Oh my God. He's not a good journalist, Jack.
Well, he's kind of retarded, so he's doing the best that special needs kids can do.
He likes to hear himself, and he wants them to be like, yes, you're so right, Hassan. That way he can go to his audience and go, even Bernie Sanders said I was right.
He said I was smart. Smart.
I brought him a train. Fucking retard.
But it's obvious to me that they're going to go after.
It's obvious to the guy who thinks Iran gives away sex change operations as a kindness. I don't think obvious means the same thing to you and me, sir.
Well, look, he's a very oblivious person.
That's it. He forgot the L.
Yeah.
He took the L instead of putting it in the word.
Yeah, he heard words and he's trying to say them, but he ends up accidentally saying a different word and nobody corrects him because nobody's listening at that point.
All right. Anyway, on with this question.
There are a lot of other people, including but not limited to the French researcher, according to Le Monde, that was denied entry into the country because they looked through his phone and they found out that he had criticized Trump's elimination of grants.
Mhm.
We're allowed to, and this is Supreme Court precedent, sir. We can keep people out for literally anything.
Yeah, we don't need a reason. You got a tattoo that looks suspiciously vaguely like a terror tattoo, you're out. You were talking against our government, you're out. We don't need a fucking reason. We don't like your hairstyle because it's super gay. We got enough of that. You're out.
In the case they keep pointing to try to back up this Khalil guy, it's Bridges versus, I think, Wilcox. Or maybe it was the, I've read too many Supreme Court cases. Maybe it was the executor one. I forget. No, because that's for the firing. Anyway, in it, the Supreme Court ruled that, so what happens is this guy is supposedly a commie, and the court ruled that just being associated with the Communist Party isn't enough to call it an association. I'm not making that shit up. That is honest to God what it said. Their basic reasoning is it's too vague, but they specifically say that you can absolutely keep somebody out for saying something before they got here. You just can't do it once they're legally here. And by the way, that part needs to be highlighted more than anybody is. Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Hassan Chop. Yeah. Anyway.
Bugs Bunny reference never gets old.
Yeah, so anyway, they wouldn't let the French guy in. One, he's French. Fuck him. And
yeah, we don't need you stinking up our country. Go to Quebec.
Two, there's countries around the world. Didn't Canada for a while ban Trump from coming because they didn't like what he said?
I know the Brits tried that for a while.
Yeah. Fuck you. Anyhow, now they're like, he's a convicted felon. Anyway.
I think there actually is support for it because of the free speech grounds on it. Because of the free speech grounds, because when ICE came to try to pick up in Mahmoud Khalil's case, when they tried to pick him up, they offered no warrant. These were unmarked people. There were no charges. And so you have Senator Durbin and Senate Judiciary, right, Bernie? I think he
is the ranking member of the Judicial.
I believe they released a statement talking about how they want to move on this. But I also think that it goes without saying that there is still profound money and interest that remains dedicated on both sides of.
Okay, this is just a pet peeve of mine. If it goes without saying, you don't have to say it. That's what goes without saying means.
Well, it goes without saying to the intellectual superiors, but for you dirty rabble listening.
It goes without saying that you don't have to say what you're going without saying. Sorry.
Irregardless is not a word either. Just throwing that out there in case it comes up.
But I also think that it goes without saying that there is still profound money and interest that remains dedicated on both sides of the aisle.
No, say what you meant, you pansy. Just say the Jews are paying for it.
Well, she's sitting next to Bernie, dude.
There's clearly money. There's clearly money here, and we all know who has the money.
The Koch brothers?
On both sides. On both sides.
George Soros?
She said on both sides because of the Jews against Israel thing. Oh, you coward.
In trying to marginalize and also conflate criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism.
Right.
I'm sorry. In the middle of that, she's in the middle of her answer. Watch Hasan here.
That remains dedicated
Right here.
on both sides of the aisle in trying to marginalize and also.
She is giving her answer, and homie's like, what's going on over there? That sounds way more interesting than this.
See,
Wow.
I'm actually kind of surprised by his seeming disinterest, because you'd think he would be the type of guy that would bang her and brag about it.
He will never brag about banging a chick. He's gay.
Well, I know that, but his audience doesn't seem to be aware of that fact.
I absolutely love that he completely blew her off right there.
Yeah, that's really fucking rude as an interviewer.
It is. Look, I don't like these two idiots he's interviewing, but fuck, dude. That was so disrespectful to her.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I was interviewing them, I would still be paying attention to what they're saying so I can make fun of it later.
Fuck. Wow. Wow. This is how well you're doing, AOC. The guy who beat off somebody so he could be here and ask you questions isn't even paying attention to you.
It's just sad, really.
Wow.
So conflate criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism.
Right.
And
Oh,
we
there it
have
is.
to
There it
we
was.
have to be very
She had to bring up the Israelites.
Of course you did.
Any criticism of Israel is just brushed off as no. It's when that's all it is.
Because it's usually the case. It's just they don't like the Jews.
When you just pulled the money bullshit and caught yourself, you're like on both sides. So stop it, okay? Knock it off. You hang out.
What?
Two of your best friends in Congress are well-known Jew-hating Muslims.
Was it AOC or one of the other squad members that said there was a reporter who was Jewish who had dual citizenship, and she said she had dual loyalty?
Oh, I missed that. I don't know.
Oh, it was like a year ago.
I do know Ilhan Omar had to come out and apologize for saying Jews control everything with money.
Oh, Jesus.
She didn't say that. She put up a cartoon.
Have they ever been to Saudi Arabia? You know, the people that own Gulf now?
She then had to come out and be like, I didn't know that Jews were marginalized.
Jesus.
Nancy sat her down and went, some of my best friends are Jews. Stop it.
Some of our biggest donors are Jews.
So she actually put out a statement that she spoke with a Jew. I forget which Jew it was. And now she understands why that's hurtful. You as a Muslim in your 30s didn't know about Jewish stereotypes.
Right.
Huh.
Like right off the boat from a heavily Muslim country. Sure,
You're either a liar or way dumber than I thought you were.
Little from column A, little from column B.
very aware of that too.
We have very limited time, and you guys have to.
Do I need to? Sorry.
Yeah,
You got no time.
I'm going
Okay.
up. It's my
All
cue.
right.
Just
Sorry,
a
I'm
minute
going
or
up
two.
on stage.
All right, perfect.
Sorry.
One question I actually wanted to ask you.
She's got to go tell everybody about how many more Democratic farts we need. We watched that clip at the beginning, Jack. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more Swalwell. And I do think it is very not ironic, that's not the word, serendipitous that it was just 2 days ago we watched Don Lemon talking about how AOC and Swalwell need to be put up there. And then she accidentally makes a fart reference.
Well, you know, to her credit, at least she didn't fart loudly right when she said it.
Oh, how do you, maybe that's what it is, guys, because I couldn't figure out how you fuck up fight with fart. Maybe she was holding in a fart that whole time.
Yeah, it was going to be a loud, juicy one. So she's like, got to hold it in. Don't want to do a Swalwell.
Yeah, and so it's on her mind. That would make sense. And I'm
Yeah.
being deadly serious here. If that was going on, I understand her slip there. Okay. She's like, don't fart, don't fart, don't fart. Democrats need more farts. Shit.
And then she goes,
Miles, thanks so much. Hey, Monk, Democrats are called have called the right Nazis for years. God, my eyesight, man. Now they come to embrace the anti-Semites in the Middle East. What the fuck? Well, the seeds were sown for this years and years ago on 9/11, when they decided that Muslims wanting to kill a bunch of us because we hang out with Jews was okay. They were like, how dare you say bad things about somebody whose religion says that if he beats you in battle, he can rape your wife in front of you.
and then they married 9-year-olds.
How dare you? How dare you have any questions about that? Remember Ben Affleck getting so sad because Bill Maher and Sam, what's his name? Harris, thank you. Sam Harris were saying that Islam is a backward ass bullshit religion that doesn't mesh with Western society. And Ben Affleck's like, I'm so sad by the things you're saying
so
right now.
So gross.
So gross what you're saying. Just because it's true doesn't mean it's not gross. I'm gonna go cry. I'm having my period. This shit's been going on for a while. Look, if somebody wants to be a moderated Muslim and actually not try to kill me because I'm an infidel, fine. But we need to stop pretending Islam is in any way. Read their books, for fuck's sake. Listen to them speak. They want you dead. This isn't, oh my God, the Christians knocked on my door. I was eating pancakes. Can you believe that?
They weren't eating bacon.
They're so fucked up. I can't believe they knocked on my door. No. This is blow up your fucking door. Kill your kids. No, you're just missing. You are believing stereotypes. No, I'm not.
I'm believing the actions of backward barbarians.
There was a post on Twitter. Somebody, because in I think it was 95, could have been 94, one of those two. Netanyahu releases a book where he talks about how the Muslims are going to knock down the Twin Towers. And the Jew haters on Twitter get a hold of this and like, oh my God, why would he say that so far in advance?
Because they tried to do it in 93.
Because he was responding to what already happened, dumb fucks. Like, no, see, that's proof that the Jews are behind 9/11. You're retarded and you should feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, they tried to take the towers down in 93. It was Osama bin Laden then.
Yep.
And everybody knew that, all the intelligence community knew that he wanted to try and do it again.
He stated it.
Hate fact.
And why? Because there were Jews in that building. There were Jewish companies that are in that were they're not now. I guess they still are, but that are in that building. Fuck right off with this shit. Anyway,
before we let you go is you've also talked.
Do you watch One Piece?
Who's your favorite character? Is it Luffy? He's mine and the Houthis.
We think you're just like Luffy.
Yeah, hero, Bernie.
I've never seen One Piece, and it may be great.
No.
But people online have made me hate One Piece.
Yep. Same with Naruto, or however the fuck that goofy shit's pronounced.
Naruto,
whatever. I don't care. Hate it. And I'm never watching it. Inuyasha, same thing. Pokermans, same thing. I've grown to hate these things because of their online fandom.
Yeah. Anyway, and look, that's not the right way to be, but I can't help it.
I have a tolerance, man. I have a really good tolerance for nerd shit, but there is a line where at some point you need to get a goddamn hobby that doesn't involve that cartoon. They're just like the Harry Potter kids 15 years ago.
Or the really weird Star Wars fans from even back in our day.
Yeah.
Your hobby should not be your personality.
Yeah,
it's an aspect of your personality.
Yeah, it's something that you have an interest in, and that's fine. You may be an expert on, but be a more well-rounded person. You are not that interesting with your one weird photographic memory on stupid shit about one goddamn cartoon.
ask you before we let you go is you've also talked about recently with the New York Times about what the future of the Democratic Party looks like and what maybe young enterprising individuals.
Real quick on the screen, a headline has popped up. Bernie Sanders has an idea for the left. Don't run as Democrats. Democrats, I am begging you to just switch to socialist or communist as your party name. Please. I'm begging. Rebranding isn't what you need here. You need re-education. You guys know what that is, right? You're retarded. You need education is what you need. Not re-education, just education. Anyway, sorry. Let's take it back so we can get Hassan's way. Let's see. He's got 3 minutes left. How much of this do you think is going to be his question, Jack?
2.5.
I think before he turns the question over to Bernie to answer.
You've talked recently with the New York Times about what the future of the Democratic Party looks like and what maybe young enterprising individuals must do. And I believe I'm paraphrasing here. You said something along the lines of like running as an independent rather than utilizing the party.
For me, that's not a.
Okay, it was 30 seconds and Bernie just cut him off. Like, fuck it, I'm going to answer. So Bernie ruined my fun, Jack.
Bernie's old. He's tired of this nonsense and he wants to go home.
Communists ruin everybody's fun.
They always do. They're communists. You're not allowed to have fun. You can't redistribute fun.
If we run as independents, all those people who claim to be independents will be us. Bernie, the reason you can't do that is party rules and the way that election financing happens. So, I mean, sure, you could all just say, no, we're actually independent, but just
hold on. You're trying to tell me that you think the communist understands how money works?
No, you're right. They do know how to cheat the system, though, and that was my point.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I should let
you
finish. My bad.
You're right. You were right on that. Bernie, you've claimed to be independent for, well, most of your career because you lost in a Democratic election. And the Democrat loses because you split the vote. And you've always sided with Democrats. Just calling yourself independent when you're always on their side doesn't mean anything. This is the problem with the Democrats is that they don't get it. They just think what they need is a rebrand. It's not. You don't need a spicy new logo. What you need is good ideas, and you don't have any.
No, that's where you're wrong. They think they have the best ideas. You're all just too dumb to understand them. Yeah, so that's why they have to rebrand and use new words because all the stupid people just don't. I understand communism. What?
Yeah, how many times have we heard, oh, we just got to use less academic language?
Yeah. We got to make it good for the simple folk to understand. Maybe using some grunts and like drawn stick figures on cave walls.
If we drool a little bit, they'll get it.
Yeah, because they think that everybody is dumber than them. The communist arrogance is one of the hallmarks of communism.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to just change your name. You need to change your ideas because they're bad. But anyway, go ahead. Run as independent. I do also, even though I'm condemning him for ruining my fun, I do appreciate that Bernie was like, God, this guy's an idiot. I better take over. Fuck.
Radical concept because I am the longest serving independent.
Yeah.
Didn't you run twice for the Democratic Party's nomination for president, sir? I'm the longest serving independent. He's laughing because we all know it's not true. The man's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Because he labels himself an independent, he doesn't really get a say in anything, but he still does. But yeah, he's a Democrat. I'm an independent.
Independent communist, ironic.
In American congressional history, and I've always run as an independent.
Nope. No, sir. You just lied. You have not always run as an independent. You ran as a Democrat and lost.
Like any Hassan's fans are going to check.
I've always ran as a Democrat. Liar. Check it. Look it up, guys. Don't take my word for it. Man's a fucking liar.
Look, I think the Democrats over the years deserve credit for the work they've done on women's rights, on gay rights.
Might want to be more specific on that.
Ask him what a woman is.
Rights.
On gay rights. You mean when they realized they were going to take an ass kicking, so they say, hey, we need to change the subject. Quick, Barack, change your opinion on gay marriage. That one? The one where up until Barack makes that change in 2014, right? Because this is at the end of his presidency. That's not even like something he announced in 2009. This is after the second election. This is only a couple of years left. What they did for gay rights. Fuck you. It was opportunistic bullshit. Fuck you. And you didn't do shit. It was actually the court that did it, asshole.
Yeah, I would argue that like individual gay people did way more for gay rights than anything the Democrats have ever done.
Yep.
Civil liberty, civil rights in general, fighting bigotry. They deserve.
The Democrat Party fighting bigotry. Wow, that is a grand, almost wizardly notion of how that went down.
They fought it like super predators would.
Yeah. Holy God. The creators of Jim Crow were fighting for those rights. Oh, man.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the Democrats have done great things.
Yeah, keep telling that fairy
Credit.
tale, old man.
And they've made progress. But I don't think anybody with a straight face can tell you that they've stood up for the working class of this country. And I think that's why so many working class people have drifted into the Republican Party, not because they believe.
Well, then why did you run for their nomination twice, sir? Do you just not like the working class, Mr. Oligarch? Oh, I'm sorry. He's only a millionaire. What's a mini oligarch? What's a minor oligarch? A Bernie. He's a Bernie.
Believe in tax breaks for billionaires, or they don't believe that climate change is real. It's they look at.
Well, one, they realize when Trump says we're going to do an across-the-board tax cut that includes them and not just billionaires.
Hey,
and you just put them through COVID, and it made a whole bunch of them start paying attention to the bullshit about. I finally saw it, Jack. I finally saw it. Somebody else pointing out that their climate models have never been correct. Not once. They can't even predict the past with all the known variables because their models suck. And I was so happy to finally see somebody else say that. And granted, I'm not the first person I've ever saw, but that talking point has gone away for like 20 years.
Yeah, because too many people, even on the right, have just accepted climate change as something we're going to throw money at until we're all poor.
We got to fight the climate change. You're a Republican, sir. Climate change is what the media said I had to say, or they'll make me lose my job.
Yeah, look, climate communism is still communism. You just dress it up in the weather and your weird death cult for Gaia.
The Democrats, and there's not much there. So what my view is people should think about running as they want. Progressive independents should run as progressive.
How are they going to get financed, sir?
Through the magic of social redistribution.
What's that Act Blue? Is that what's going to do it for them?
Yes, probably.
You know, all of those mysterious donations that the people who supposedly made them didn't make.
Shh, we don't talk about that anymore.
Progressive Democrats, but don't necessarily feel that you have to run within the Democratic Party. And I think as you may recall,
The vast majority of people, if you want to get elected, have to run within the party system. It's the way the party system is set up. It just is. And we do need some kind of controls on that, Jack, because you can't just print a ballot with every asshole who's like, I want to run too. So that's why we have the system set up the way we do. However, the Democrats and Republicans, both of them, they're in lockstep on this, have gone out of their way to make it as hard as possible to get on the ballot.
Oh, absolutely. It's ridiculous.
So if we're just being realistic, if you want to run for any major position that's not considered nonpartisan, and even then you still need their money, you have to have the party's backing. YOFET, thank you so much. So does Bet support the Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah like Hassan does? Oh, Bernie, that's what that was. Okay. Wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be shocked if he supports them. Although, in fairness to Bernie, I don't remember. Okay, I don't want to say in fairness to him because of the truth. I just don't remember if he's ever gone that far. Bernie will believe whatever he's told to. We saw that with the Black Lives. Remember when the Black Lives Matter protesters got up there and took over his stage? He's like, all right, just tell him what I should think.
That was pathetic.
It was. He totally was going to beat Hillary.
And where the fuck was his security detail that was allowed to even happen?
It's a good question. Good question.
In Nebraska, a fellow named Dan Osborne ran a really, really powerful campaign as an independent, running as a very proud trade unionist, running on economic issues, and he did extremely well, much better than anyone had anticipated. So,
did he win? Because you said he did extremely well, better than anticipated. Who won? Did Osborne win? I'm guessing
won. What?
Now I have to look this up because I'm not familiar with this race. Was it Nebraska? Was it a Senate race? Yes, Senate. Whoops.
If I remember correctly, Oswald won, but then the win was handed to Ruby.
Dan Osborne is not a sitting senator, so my guess is he lost. How much did he lose by? Where is this at? Where's the outcome? Just tell me the outcome. I don't care about the rest of this.
No.
Fisher won the election by 62,000 votes in Nebraska.
That's a lot of people in Nebraska.
Yeah, Bernie, he did great. Why don't you guys go out there and burn money like Dan Osborne did? Fuck off. He did good.
that was my point, and I think it makes sense.
Do you feel like there's any sort of momentum to break through the duopoly in this structure? As someone who has run as an independent,
It is. It's a long discussion.
For the record, every year Democrats, well, every 6 years, they do run against Bernie, and every 2 years when he was in the House. But they don't put any money into it because they know he's going to win because he's got the name.
Yeah, and he always votes with them, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, it's a losing cause to even try, so why waste the money? And if they did waste the money, there's a good chance they could kick him out. Just saying.
If you're asking me, do I think we could start a third party tomorrow? I don't, for a lot of reasons, having to do with restrictions in various states making it almost impossible.
I point out that it was the parties, Bernie. It's the states. Fuck you. He's still carrying water for the Democrats because I can't say, at least blame the Republicans, asshole.
But I think what you're saying is massive discontent with both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. More and more people are looking for, I think, independent alternatives.
No, more and more people are looking for common sense, and that's why Trump won. If you're talking about pure conservative values, Trump should not have won the primary or the election because he's not a conservative. He never has been. He has a couple of conservative sides to him, and especially in his first term, you see a lot of his liberalism coming out.
Yeah, he's more of a fiscal conservative
Yeah.
than anything else. He's a social democrat from the 90s or 80s.
And what people want is politicians who do what they say. This is how I'm going to vote, and not McCain that shit. And as soon as you get in there, fuck everybody over.
Yeah.
I think they're looking. There's no common sense in the Democratic Party, and not much of it in the Republican Party. Donald Trump won going against both sides. Do you really think the Republicans wanted him to be their standard bearer this time? How many major politicians came out against him? How many were backing that whore Nikki Haley?
Well,
She's
quite a few.
Our last best hope against Donald Trump. They did not want him. And it's not that they hated Republicans. It's that they hated that the Republicans are who they become. A bunch of thin-skinned cowards.
Yeah. Oh, you. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Listen, great to see you.
We'll hopefully do this again very soon.
Okay. Take care.
All right. We'll go.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Wait. I got to hear that again.
Great to see you.
We'll hopefully do this again very soon.
Okay. Take care.
All right. We'll.
That giggle in his voice as he said it.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Okay.
I like how he walks off in front of Hasan, so you see his close-up of Bernie's junk instead of going the other way because he has total contempt for this clown.
Okay, that part made it worth it. I just got to be honest. Wow. Sure thing, sport. He should have said that with sport at the end of it just to really emphasize. Yeah, okay. Oh. By the way, that tone you just heard from Bernie is how you should read most of my tweets.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We'll go over to the rally now. We got to get your mic off.
He's already
Perfect.
thrown it on the ground.
Why
Why would you leave this part in?
Look, my dick. Okay, nobody cares. That was great. Oh, Bernie, if you run again, I will donate $1 to your campaign for that.
I think Divine summed this whole thing up pretty well. Jeez, Piker is a chode.
Yeah, why would you post this? This was horrible.
This is embarrassingly bad.
Neither candidate. Bernie seemed bored the whole time he was there. I mean, even from the beginning with Hassan's first question, make her talk. I don't want to talk to this guy.
Right?
Unlike AOC, who pretended she really, really liked that gift, Bernie was just like, whatever. What's wrong with you, tard boy?
I didn't realize he was a special.
I just want to bring that moment back up on the screen as we finish talking about this.
While you're doing that, real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. At least your deploy hasn't limited the other party's ability to receive donations. Yeah, that's messed up. Specifically exempt themselves from those limits while also voting themselves taxpayer funds to continue their uniparty state, unlike they've done in Australia. You guys have an insane amount of crazy stuff going on. Like, it is literally a nut house over there. I was doing some reading on that after the show yesterday. Mm-hmm. Australia is really turning into like this uniparty hellscape, like faster than Britain. It's pretty impressive.
Well, that's how you take control the language, you control everything.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. And one great way to do that is getting rid of parties like you guys can't. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad for Australians because we have a lot of Australians in chat.
I don't.
I do. I like Australians. They're funny.
I feel bad for the smart ones, but the truth is, like so many other places, it's been overrun by commie pussies, and they're not standing up to it.
Yeah.
Like it's how we got to where we are in the Western world with so much of the nonsense, and the only thing that has saved us is Supreme Court rulings that have allowed us to keep saying stuff, but we still got censored all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I think J. Edgar Hoover's ham-fistedness in the 50s and 60s stopped a lot of commies, whether you want to give him credit for anything else. He did that.
This is a long-term strategy for them, and they understand the power of it.
Yeah.
And everybody who has silenced themselves, I'm not talking about censoring yourself so you don't get kicked off YouTube. I'm like, the people are like, I'm not going to say anything about this because I don't want to start any fights. This isn't worth fighting for.
You'll become a social pariah. You'll get fired from your job. At some point, you have to fight.
It's not even that. And I hear you 100%. But the go along to get along people, you're the problem. You're the biggest problem.
Yep.
Because you won't stand up or at least vote. No, I voted for Hillary because I think women deserve a chance to be president. Nobody deserves a chance at being fucking president.
Monkey, it was her turn.
Thank you, Logical Mail. Hey, fellas, off topic. With the DOGE cuts occurring, any word on Media Matters? I haven't heard from Media Matters in a long time.
I haven't either. Haven't really paid too much attention. I know PBS is shitting their pants right now. They are really anti-Elon because they're worried they're going to lose all their funding.
Dangerous says, this is the last Make-A-Wish interview I do. Yeah, look at Bernie. He's like, what the fuck is this? And AOC's like, isn't that so cool? That's so cool. He got his presents. He liked us. I think Bernie is just killing time, making money for his family. I don't think he actually is even involved anymore, if I'm being just perfectly honest. He checked out after 2020. His only real chance was because 2016 you have the super delegates that even though he was gonna lose, ensured he would lose. So the Democrats get rid of that in a deal with him where they agreed to buy his book. It said, okay, we won't do that going forward. And so you get into 2020, you have Elizabeth Warren, you have Pete Buttigieg, Bernie, and Tulsi was still in that mix, even though nobody's paying any attention to her. Buttigieg is on a plane from Indiana. I want to say he was headed to DC at the time. And he gets a phone call from the Biden campaign, which made him turn his plane around and go, I'm no longer running for president. And Amy Klobuchar, Klobuchar was still in too. Klobuchar, within a day of that, also out of nowhere, announces I'm done. And when that happened, Bernie's hopes died because his only hope at that point was to just do a little bit better than Joe, with everybody else siphoning votes from both of them.
Yep.
And so when that happened, I think he was done at that point. If you look at him now, even when he's giving a fiery speech for him, he just looks bored as shit. He's just wasting time till he dies. And since he's a commie, I support the latter part of that. Just saying. I don't want anybody to do it to him. I want the good Lord, Mother Nature, old age, whatever you want to say, to do its rightful role.
I believe they call that a redistribution of life force.
So somebody can be the reincarnation of Bernie and we can bitch about him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to talk about this. I want to end the show because we're over the 2-hour mark and my throat is still dry. But I have to talk about this because this is driving me insane. The government wants to block soda purchases for Americans on Snap. Remember when New York City tried this and it completely backfired? President Trump proudly had a Diet Coke button in the Oval Office. This is ridiculous government overreach. Let people decide for themselves. Now, if you're not looking at the screen, you might be under the mistaken impression that this is coming from a liberal account. It's not. Conservatives have banded together, I'm using air quotes when I say conservative, to say that you can't ban soda on food stamps because Donald Trump drinks Diet Coke.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He's not on Snap.
Donald Trump's Diet Coke button in the Oval Office wasn't paid for with food stamps, retard.
Now, one of the key things that people seem to constantly need to be reminded of is whatever the government gives you can be taken away or have restrictions put on it. It's not your goddamn money. That is the taxpayers' money. That is the people with jobs. And if they don't want you buying shitty junk food that's going to raise their health care prices because you're on that too, then you can't have it. Only healthy food. Fuck you. You don't like it? Go get a job. Get off the Snap.
This one says government overreach strikes again. This time it's soda's turn. They want to restrict soda purchases through Snap this time. This is an unwarranted attempt by the government to dictate what Americans can or cannot consume.
You didn't used to be able to buy pop on food stamps.
Nope.
Back in like the 70s and 80s. That's a fairly recent thing.
Which is an overextension of government power and a violation of personal choice. Get a job, fucker.
Yeah, you don't like it? Get off the dole. How's that? You also can't use it to go to strip clubs, but they tried to pull that back too, so you could use your EBT card at strip clubs, ATMs.
Even President Donald Trump likes his Diet Coke on a daily basis. The government needs to stop over-regulating what Americans can or cannot do. This is not a regulation saying you can never drink soda. They're saying if you want soda, buy it yourself, dickhead.
Yeah, same reason you can't buy cigarettes or gin with your
Hey, we should be able to buy alcohol on our EBT card, because if you don't, that money that's meant to make sure your kids eat,
yeah,
it won't be spent on your personal choice of Jack Daniels.
Yeah, yo, monsters, fuck off.
Important. We cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Needy Americans, they need that soda, Jack.
No, they don't. Have you seen the people buying pop with their SNAP benefits? It's always a bunch of big fat assholes getting 5 or 6 cases of this shit, and they're like, "I'm totally healthy on any size. This is my money."
I live in Michigan, where we have a 10-cent deposit on cans. So when I worked at Walmart, people would come in, buy a 24-pack, go into the parking lot, dump it out, come back in, return the cans, and use that money that they now have in their hand to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
I have watched that happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where I grew up, we used to see people fill up trash bags full of cans. They'd go through the park and pick up all the cans and then just drive up to Michigan and cash them in.
Yeah, which, by the way, is illegal if you get caught doing it.
You get caught doing that, it's a pretty big fine. What do you mean Lotto is cash only, right? I should be able to use my SNAP benefits for that.
Some officials in D.C. are working on trying to prevent Americans on SNAP from using those benefits to purchase any soda. Remember when New York City Democrats tried to prevent people from buying and consuming soda? It backfired big time. As Jack pointed out, this is not something that's been around forever.
Yeah, it used to be very restrictive what you could and could not buy with your food stamps.
I'll go you one better, because there's already a program for poor people that has got ridiculous restrictions on it. It's called WIC.
Yeah, women, infant, children. You get for like formula and diapers?
That you can get certain proteins, you can get vegetables. I actually like the program, I really do. But it is not SNAP where you can go out there and like, you know what? Our kids are really hungry. We need to make sure they got nutritional stuff. Buy pizza rolls.
Yeah, one of the main problems with people on SNAP is they don't know nutrition.
No.
And that's why a lot of them are incredibly obese, because they sit around and don't do anything all day because they largely don't have jobs. I'm not talking about the disabled people. They're usually the ones buying healthier food. But they don't know anything about nutrition, so it's like pizza rolls and microwave pizzas and a bunch of soda. And maybe a box of goobers or something.
It might be unhealthy, but at least pizza rolls and pizza have some nutritional value. Soda doesn't.
No, it's just a delicious, delicious battery acid.
And before anybody's like, oh, Monkey hates soda, I drink nothing but soda. Occasionally I'll mix it up a little bit, Jack, and have one other thing that day. But in the last week, you know what I've drank? Literally nothing but soda.
Kidney stones? I don't know. I drink a lot of water.
See, that always makes me laugh. Go, you can't drink soda, it'll give you kidney stones. Like, maybe you guys aren't drinking enough because I've never had one.
Yeah, I try and limit my intake to a couple of bottles of Coke while we're on stream of the cane sugar Coke because it's way better for you than the high fructose shit. And then I drink a lot of water.
Dangerous says, but I bet you pay for it yourself. Yes, and with that, let's get back to this guy real fast because, oh, fuck this guy. President Trump literally has a Diet Coke button in his Oval Office. Let people think and decide for themselves. Anyone can consume soda and be perfectly fine in moderation unless we are just going to ban every food with sugar in it for snap Americans.
I'm okay with banning anything with high fructose corn syrup.
Sure.
That shit is terrible for you. And they shouldn't be able to buy candy either with their SNAP benefits. You want candy? Get some sports candy and buy a fucking apple.
I've actually seen that argument before, and the response to it is, but don't you think poor kids should have candy on Halloween?
Yeah, their parents could buy it, and they go door to door and leech it off the neighbors like good little homeless people.
I'll even go one better. They can get a voucher at Halloween for 2 bags of candy. It'll be cheaper than the amount that's being spent now.
No, I think in that case it has to be for the day after Halloween when everything's half off, because that's my tax money.
This is Kyle. Thank you. Hello, chat people. Monkey and Jack went to watch my sister's softball game. She hit 2 inside the park home runs, and her team beat the best team 10-11.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
I don't mean this mean, but she doesn't have a penis, right?
Jesus, Monkey. Congratulations to your sister, Kyle.
You
That's
get
awesome.
2 inside the park home runs. That is unheard of. Well done for her. Hey, give her my congratulations, but that sounds like some shit we would see on a headline. Don't worry, he's not going to be offended by that. He watches this show. All right, and finally over here we have Ian Miles Chong. Who,
oh, God. Clout chasing trend hopper.
A new war on soda has began, targeting purchases made through SNAP. I don't believe it's the government's role to decide what people should or shouldn't eat.
You live in Malaysia.
Nobody is deciding what they can or cannot eat. It's what they can or cannot buy with my money, fucker.
Yeah, they're not saying, they're not restricting them from ever buying that stuff. They just can't use the SNAP money for it. That's it. You can still buy it. You can still consume it. You just have to reach into your own pocket instead of your neighbor's pocket. You freeloaded parasites. I mean, poor people. I don't have a problem helping the elderly or the crippled or, people that can't basically work. They're not capable of it. That's fine. I have no problem helping them. But everybody else, go out and get a job and pay for your own fucking food. I'm pretty poor. I don't go on benefits. You know why? Because I know that I could just go sell some plasma.
I don't take as harsh a view as you. I'm fine with helping poor people. But the idea that we can't have any restrictions on what they're buying with that money that is mostly meant and definitely pushed to make sure kids are not starving should be used to make sure kids aren't starving.
Nah, man, after years of working with severe behavior handicapped kids, I saw how they were abusing the system way too close up, and how they would parents would sit around and try and get their kids to hook up so a boy could get a girl pregnant, and then the mom could stay on welfare because she'll get custody of the kid and she'll get more benefits that way. I saw way too much of the abuse that went on. And this is outrageous waste of money.
I'm not willing to let kids starve because they have bad parents.
And that's where we differ.
Yeah. The last time the U.S. government dove deep into dietary guidance, the whole world ended up with a questionable food pyramid. Once again, the U.S. government already does this with WIC.
Yeah.
It also championed the COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective. I don't know what the fuck that's got to do with anything, but Ian wants you to know that he's on the right side of that argument. Promoting better health for Americans is a reasonable idea, but not when it involves curbing Diet Coke purchases, restricting. Do you guys believe in saving money or not?
No, it's so hypocritical. You want all these cuts and savings, but you don't want to cut out one of the more expensive, frivolous wastes of money in one of the social programs. Give me a fucking break. Nobody is required to drink any kind of fizzy drink. I'm sorry, you're not. Stupid.
Restricting soda through SNAP is an unnecessary move by the government to control consumption, overstepping its authority and infringing on individual liberties.
It is not individual. You're parasitically leeching off everybody around you. How is that individual liberty?
It's not. It's not. Literally everything he said, especially in that last thing, is just retarded. If I had the Joe Pesci meme, I'd play it right here. Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Nobody is restricting you from buying soda. You can't do it on something that is literally meant for nutritional value to make sure poor people don't starve to death. Nobody's starving to death because they can't get a red Mountain Dew.
Oh, without my code red, I'll die. Shut up.
This is fucking retarded. Tell me you don't understand the arguments without telling me you don't understand the arguments. This is what I talk about when it's like people on my side who should shut the fuck up because they don't know what they're talking about. Like, I'm against government waste. How dare you say that you can't buy soda with SNAP?
Yeah, seriously.
I would consider buying soda with SNAP to be waste, fraud, or abuse.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be abuse is what it is.
Yeah, because it's completely unhealthy. They should only be allowed to buy healthy foods.
I hear you. I don't necessarily want to restrict it to healthy foods because, one, I don't trust our government in the notion of what healthy foods are to begin with. How many different guidelines have we had on eggs over the years?
Ketchup is a vegetable.
But it should have at least some nutritional value.
You would think. But apparently people don't want that. Apparently a couple of Butterfingers and a Mountain Dew are good enough.
Fucking idiots, man.
Maybe you could just like mainline some of the Pixie Sticks while you're at it too. This is a stupid hill to die on.
It's retarded. They're trying for the freedom thing here.
Yeah, it's not a freedom issue when you're mooching off the government or your fellow citizens, I should say.
Every one of those that we just read, the people who wrote them should feel really bad about how stupid they are.
Yeah.
And if you follow them, you should now understand you should question everything they say because they're fucking retarded.
Yeah, it's a dumb argument.
It's freedom. They're trying to keep us from, just like New York. No. Just like we did when the program was originally. Because, like, Jack, I remember when you couldn't go to fast food restaurants with it, but now you can.
Yeah. You shouldn't be able to do that either. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. It's freedom. I think there should be a lot more restrictions because you're the one leeching off of everybody else. and you should have restrictions on that.
If people weren't buying soda with it, then nobody would have an issue here. The issue is that they are, and they shouldn't be because it's for food.
Yep. You should be able to do whatever you want with other people's money.
I understand the arguments about the freedom aspect of it, but this isn't a government grant. They're not going, hey, you're poor, like the earned income credit, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, you got some kids, you're poor, they'll give you a few $1,000s. You get to go spend that however you want, because it's literally meant to stimulate the economy through working poor so that they feel like they actually did something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with the earned income credit.
This program is specifically about nutrition. That's the difference. It's not a cash grant. It is a stipend to buy food so that people don't starve. How many times have we heard about, oh, these poor kids, they can't get food. The only meal they get in the day is from the school. Well, maybe if mom wasn't buying Mountain Dew with it, they would have had some pizza rolls, which, while not the most nutritional food, at least has nutritional value.
Yeah, well, if she was buying something like orange juice and apples instead of Ho-Hos and Mountain Dew, the kids would probably be a little healthier and not pre-diabetic at 7. We're not allowed to use logic or reason anymore, Eagle. It's been forbidden, apparently.
Most countries only sell a liter of soda. In America, we have assault liters. I don't have a problem with how big we sell it. I just don't think it should be bought with food stamps, because that's not what that's for.
Yeah.
I want a 10-gallon tub of ranch dressing, and I know that's not healthy for me, but I still want it.
Yeah, but you're an adult and you could buy your own food.
Oh, I would only buy it with my money. I wouldn't be like, I need ranch. I need a 8-gallon. How big are those Gatorade things? Have you seen the one that's ranch dressing? I desperately want that.
Ew.
They have the smaller kegs of it too, and I want me one. They don't sell them anymore, unfortunately. I did look into it. Hidden Valley sold little kegs of, oh man, if only.
Yeah, junk food is a luxury, evil one.
It is, and it should be.
Yeah.
Alan, thank you so much for becoming a member for month number 16. They should just give commodities, not food stamps. The problem with that is that's how we end up with like government cheese and stuff. And that's now if we get too close to our bread lines. I understand what you're saying. That gets the government way too involved directly in the food chain, and I don't want them there.
I remember government food, and I have to admit the peanut butter was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes stirring their peanut butter.
It's delicious. The government cheese was just Velveeta.
It was nasty, Velveeta.
Yeah, it was. Well, Velveeta's pretty nasty anyway.
Nah, Velveeta's wonderful. I love me Velveeta. How dare you besmirch them?
Eagle's got a good idea, man. If you knew where the factory was, you could probably get yourself a big old tub of it. We'll heist you a big vat of Hidden Valley.
I fuck with ranch, pizza, celery, wangs. I put that shit on everything. Me too, man. I love me some ranch dressing. I had ranch dressing with hot dogs today. I cooked the hot dogs though.
Fucking
so
nasty.
That was good. No bun either. I just ate. I dipped it in the. It looks gross, and you feel kind of like Andrew Tate when you're holding a wiener that's got white stuff on the end, but it still tastes good.
You felt like you had no chin?
With little black specks in it. Remember, you can't say that Andrew Tate has AIDS, herpes, and syphilis. You cannot say that because that would be illegal in Florida.
It would be a lie.
You put ranch on wings? Yeah, why not? And that says wangs. I see what you did there. Ha.
I mean, I ruled nothing out. If there's ranch dressing involved, you might be able to trick him.
I eat chunks, not wings anyway, so.
Ew.
Chicken chunks, man. Much better than chicken wangs because there's actual meat in them.
Yeah, there's no bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this one. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to show?
Yeah, I'll drop a link to a cool video. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support you give us, all the donations, and all the likes, shares, and subscribes, because you guys are awesome, and we appreciate everything you guys do for us, and we like chatting with you guys. You're just starting to wake up, Eagle. What were you doing sleeping?
You got 2 hours to go watch. Enjoy.
Cannibal said $5 says Monkey would swim in a pool full of ranch. I'm not taking that bet. I know he would.
How deep is the pool?
I would guess standard swimming pool, so probably 5 to 6 feet deep.
Nah. I would eat it. I would sit in the shallow end maybe, but you can't swim in ranch. You drown, and I don't want to drown in ranch.
Be like the Smothers Brothers drowning in chocolate.
If it was like a little kiddie wading pool, I would cover my whole self with that. Oh yeah. But remember, Monkey only takes sure bets, and swimming in a 5-foot pool, nah, you're gonna drown. That shit's slippery, Jack. You never get your footing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
My throat hurts and you pricks are making me sing.